자, 저녁밥 먹기 전에 소화시킬 겸 해서 조금씩 금방 영상에 올렸던 책들을 좀 읽어보겠습니다. How to Improve Your Mind 20 Keys to Unlock the Modern World. Intelligent Design. This anti-key tries to use God to explain what we see in the physical universe in general and the variety of living things on Earth in particular. As a proof of the existence of God, it is no more objectionable than other such proofs. For example, recently it has been argued that the condition for the development of the universe into something interesting require laws so delicately balanced that they could not be an accident, but must have been legislated by a creator with an intelligent design. However, intelligent design as an alternative to evolutionary biology is entirely counterproductive. It pretended to be a method of investigating nature that discloses signs of order imposed by a rational agent. In fact, it adds nothing to our knowledge of nature. Whenever science is unable to give a full explanation of something, we get nothing better than a monotonous refrain. It was designed that way. Hyperfocus. How to be more productive in a world of distraction. Why focus matters. Attention is everywhere. This restaurant scene is a handy illustration of a revelation I had a while back. Attention is all around us. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Unsee it. Unsee it. Everyone awakened on the planet in this one moment, whether they are eating breakfast, working, or spending time with their family, is focused on something. Attention is the backdrop against which we live our lives wherever we go, and whatever we do, even if we are just noticing the thought in our head. Perfect praises for the cells at the core. Chapter 1. The realities of today's selling environment. There are 12 other realities that form the philosophical underpinning of why the praises and the terms outlined in this book really work. Why is that? Because sales is a dynamic science that when practiced correctly becomes an art of the form. And although its tactics are constantly changing, its foundational principles remain constant. Let's take a look at a few principles of selling. The secret to selling is never in the selling. The reality, the secret to selling is never in the selling. Instead, it's always in the continuous act of prospecting. Most salespeople fail because they lack a sufficient supply of qualified prospect. What does that tell you? Then you need to consistently, intelligently, and capably prospect for business. No matter how long you've been selling, it never stops. Whether you are vertically integrating an account or attacking an entire market segment, sales is always all about prospecting. And that's true whether you've been selling for 2 months, 2 years, or even a lifetime. The story of you on Enneagram journey to becoming your true self. The stories we tell, recognizing the myths of who you are. The universe is made of stories, not of atoms. My old story is captured in a snapshot. I still have of me back when I was a little boy at the beach with my family. In the picture, I'm sitting in a beached lifeguard boat, waving and laughing at the camera. I remember it was a beautiful sunny day. I'm squinting at the camera and everyone in the background is sporting Ray-Bans, baking in the sun, their bronze skin glistening with the Hawaiian tropic dark tanning oil. It strike me as ironic that I'm sitting in a lifeboat. My family was lost at sea in those days, and though I was a child, I remember sensing that my siblings and I were living on the low ceiling of gray clouds. Our troubled father was taking our ship down. Madam Speaker, Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi typically came across as determined, focused, even fierce, all qualities that helped her rise in amongst the world. Only occasionally would she display flashes of the warmth and humor that the friends described. She was so disciplined that she could seem robotic. She had to work to slow down her breathless staccato. She would sometimes stumble over words, prompting detractors to falsely accuse her of being drunk, although in fact she rarely had a drink beyond a sip of champagne on celebratory occasion. Net positive. How courageous companies thrive by giving more than they take. Runaway climate change and rampant inequality are ravaging the world and costing a fortune. Who will help lead us to a better future? Business. A net positive company improve the lives of everyone it touches, from customers and suppliers to employees and communities, greatly increasing long-term shareholder returns in the process. Takes ownership of all the social and environmental impacts its business model create. This in turn provides opportunities for innovation, savings, and building a more humane, connected, and purpose-driven culture. Partners with competitors, civil society, and governments to drive transformative change that no single group or enterprise could deliver alone. Sleep smarter. The 21 essential strategies to sleep your way to a better body, better health, and bigger success. Know the value of the sleep. Don't sleep on sleep. We've just covered a small slice of the pie on why sleep needed to be a top priority on your list from this day forward. Always remember the value of your sleep. You will perform better, make better decisions, and have a better body when you get the sleep you require. Sleep is not an obstacle we need to go around. It's a natural state your body requires to boost your hormone function, heal your muscle, tissue, and organ, protect you from disease, and make your mind work at its optimal level. The shortcut to success is not made by bypassing dreamland. You will work better, be more efficient, and get more stuff done when you are properly rested. The best advice I ever got. Lessons from extraordinary lives. Part 1. Life is not a recipe. My first job objective after college was to hold on to the job I had while I was in college. It was a stop yet face a landmark Stromboli, and be a joint in Eastern Avenue on the Rutgers University main campus. It was my first restaurant job, and I liked it. I started out washing the dishes and eventually became the fastest line cook in the place. On second thought, Michelle Ostrander was faster, but I had more flair. Leadership in turbulent times. Abraham. Given his beginnings, he had traveled an immense distance, yet given the inordinate nature of his ambition to render himself worthy of his fellow men, they had hardly begun. In less than half a dozen years, seemingly from nothing and from nowhere, He had reason to become a respected leader in the state legislature, a central figure in the fight for internal improvements, an instrumental force behind the planting of the new capital, and a practicing lawyer. High performance are the habit. How extraordinary people become that way. The way. Beyond the natural, the quest for high performance. Don't bother just to be better than your contemporaries or predecessors. Try to be better than yourself. This means they tend to be fully immersed in what they are doing. They enjoy what they are doing and they have confidence in their ability to figure things out. The question can be answered by the data. In a keyword analysis, a public survey data on over 30,000 high-performing respondents is pretty clear. When people talk about how they feel in high performance, they report feeling full engagement, joy, and competence. Places to know in the USA. Mayflower 2, Plymouth, Massachusetts. In September of 1620, 100 pilgrims left England to come to America. They came from Plymouth, a town in England. Many of the people came from religious freedom. All came for new lives. The pilgrims came on a ship, the Mayflower. It looked like the ship in the picture. The pilgrims sailed for more than 2 months. It was a long and difficult trip. In December of 1620, the pilgrims came to their new home in America. They named their new town Plymouth. The first winter in Plymouth, the pilgrims were hungry, sick, and cold. Many people died. Native Americans, the Wampanoag Indians, helped the pilgrims. The Wampanoags helped the pilgrims build houses. They also taught the pilgrims how to plant corn and beans.